Hi guys! My immersion project was to learn about international students, which I wanted to learn about them because they make great state so diverse, but I don't know that much about them. So I became involved in the LEAP program, which stands for Learning English for Academic and Professional Purposes. And what the program does is let the non-native speakers learn their English grammar and vocabulary better. And how I became involved was going to Cultural Hour, which is a way for the non-native students to immerse with native students, so they're not just taking classes on English, but they're also practicing their English with other students. And they do activities which are actually pretty fun. So the first one I went to was on January 31st, which was Chinese New Year, so we got involved in making decorations like Chinese lamps, like this one, which is made with brightly colored paper. And what I learned was that for China, they do not use white because white symbolizes death, which I thought was interesting because in our culture, white symbolizes purity and life. And it was pretty interesting to be around a lot of the students who were mostly from Saudi Arabia, which I learned. I thought that the students were mostly from India, but they're usually from Saudi Arabia or Kuwait and other Middle Eastern or Western Asia countries, which is pretty cool. And there are different levels of English speaking that they have. Like the LEAP program categorizes them with like level 1 for beginning and level 4 for advanced. So each student has a different level of speaking English and understanding English. So the table that I was at, that I was making decorations, had a lot of guys who I could understand and who could understand me. But then I went to another table where we were learning about Chinese zodiac signs, which are based on animals, and it was a lot of women who still are not very used to English, so they were actually looking at each other for interpretation for what I was saying and had a hard time understanding me. So it was a different experience, and having to explain what I mean to say. And the other part of the program I got involved in was to have a conversation partner or to be a conversation partner to some students. So these are students who, again, are trying to improve their English and they just want to have casual conversations with people who do speak English well. So I just meet with them at least once a week and we just talk about everyday things. And I learned that the women that I talked to, they felt pretty welcomed when they came to America. However, it was hard because they didn't know English very well, and some people were not very nice to them. And one of the women who was married, she mostly talked to her husband for the most of the time that she was in America before she became comfortable talking with other people. But better and better she's getting, along with the other girl I was talking to who really practices English and tried to practice it before she came to America so she'd be a little bit more comfortable with it. So I really like the LEAP program. I think I'm going to continue getting involved with it and volunteering for it. Um, and it's a really great program. So that was my project.